and how to protect yourself. And Ivorian psychologist Noor Bakayoko shares some insights on bullying and what can be done.
It's important to avoid major events or major health crises.
How do you know if your cough is due to a serious condition? We'll have some answers. Stay well
and strive to make every day a healthy day.
69. Email on trade@nitf.ask.co.ke.
Good afternoon. This is Lunchtime News. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon on KBC Channel 1. My name is Jackie Wambiru. Our sign language interpreter is Anne Wangeshi. Now, we have a comprehensive bulletin lined up this afternoon, and we shall be kicking off right away. President William Ruto has urged for reforms at the United Nations Security Council to address the evolving global challenges facing humanity. Speaking during the Summit of the Future plenary at the United Nations General Assembly Hall in New York, President Ruto highlighted the inadequacies of the current multilateral system in tackling pressing issues such as climate change, inequality, and debt.
President Ruto has emphasized the need to redesign the international financial system, strengthen partnership for common security, bridge the digital divide, and invest in human capacity development.
In the circumstances, the upcoming 4th International Conference on Financing for Development may be our last opportunity to make the radical changes needed to realize and realign our development priorities to meet the SDGs by 2030.
According to Ruto, without immediate and decisive action, the world is facing an unprecedented global crisis.
The current multilateral system is clearly struggling to address these immense, complex, and dynamic challenges effectively.
Ruto expressed concern that only 17% of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals targets are currently on track, primarily due to unmet financial commitments.
These challenges include limited fiscal ability, rising debt, unfair credit rating frameworks, and an uneven interest rate regime. In the face of deteriorating global economic conditions worsened by relentless climate crisis, these weaknesses limit the opportunities, especially in low-income countries. Today, 1 in 3 developing countries is at risk of defaulting on their debt obligations.
The Kenyan head of state says Africa should have a permanent representation on the UN Security Council as a critical aspect of ongoing UN reforms. Ruto also highlighted the achievements of the Kenya-led multinational support mission in Haiti, stating that despite limited resources, the mission has made tangible progress. He further said Kenya's goal to increase its forest cover to 30% by 2030 through the planting of 15 billion trees will go a long way in addressing environmental concerns.
Now, a group of elders from Mandera and neighboring Somalia have urged northern Kenya residents to embrace peace and coexistence among the various clans within the region. Speaking during a peace meeting, the leaders urged locals to always work closely with law enforcement agencies to help root criminals in their midst. The peace meeting was held after 8 people were killed in Banisa area along the Kenya-Ethiopia a week ago.
It was a meeting hosted by leaders from Mandera County, which brought together elders from neighboring Somalia and Ethiopia to explore ways of maintaining peace and harmonious coexistence within the region. The elders urging locals to always strive for peace in the area for the sake of development. The leaders, led by Major Retired Hussein Abshiro, said it was disappointing that the northern Kenya was facing insecurity challenges fueled by the proliferation of small arms smuggled from neighboring countries such as Ethiopia and Somalia, calling for the elders from neighboring countries to help tackle the vice.
Their main intention is to make sure the region in the northern corridor and the porous border of Kenya that runs from Ras Kamboni to Bula Hawa, a town bordering Mandera town. We want to have peace. We want to negotiate for peace in the general horn of Africa. They gave us a message that we should coexist or make integration with communities, other Somali communities who live with us. And we have 100% taken and heeded their advice.
Abshiro urging locals to continue cooperating with law enforcement agencies to enable them effectively deal with emerging security threats.
What we are simply doing is to come out publicly and start negotiating peacefully through diplomatic route. They are coming here to collect ideas. They are coming here to see our position. They are coming here to see the type of communication we are passing to our government. We ask our government to always support this structure called Council of Elders. This is a very important structure. Actually, we have even shown, we have shaped the politics of this nation one time, around 2013.
The leaders further urged the government to incorporate elders in peace efforts for effective results.
What I want to appeal to the government is that peace cannot only be attained by force, nor only by machineries. Peace can attained by only making the due process of following maybe what the elders are doing.
And our child rights defenders in Busia County are calling for closer follow-up and engagement of the girl child in the county amid concerns over the increase of teen pregnancies and substance abuse. In a bid to keep them engaged, they have rolled out sporting activities and mentorship programs to advise them on the dangers of drug use and premarital sex. The Charcoal Queens Club has brought together over 30 girls from both high school and college to participate in the Football National Super League.
Lengo letu la ni swala ambalo sisi tumeshikilia kabisa kwamba tunachukua nafasi tuwajenge ili waweze kupata fursa ya kuendelea na maisha yao bila kukwamizwa kokote. Hasa swala la pregnancy katika Busia County limesumbua watoto wengi sana. Wengi wamejikita katika hali mbaya.
Mchezo inatusaidia, inatukeep busy, inatuondolea vitu kama maybe take drugs, mimba za mapema.
Football inasaidia vitu mingi, kwa mfano for us teenagers, girls inavu ile early pregnancy, hiyo drugs. So mimi nikiwa ground sina hata time ya kutoka niende nitembee ama nifanye nini, na focus tu na ball.
And now we are going to take at Education Matters, where the nationwide lecturers' strike continued Monday, with lecturers leaving learning activities in all public universities paralyzed now after they instituted a nationwide strike on Wednesday last week, citing delays in finalizing the 2021-2025 collective bargaining agreement with the government. Now we shall be joining our reporter Ben Chumba, who shall be giving us an update on today's events. Ben, kindly bring us to speed.
Good afternoon. This is Ben Chumba reporting live from Jogo House, where there has been tension following back and forth struggle between the police and the public, university lecturers and staff. The members of the public, university and the staff were here to present their petition to the National Assembly. They also wanted to present the petition to the Ministry of Education as well as the Treasury. Their petition is regarding the implementation of the 2021-2025 CBA, that they say that it has not yet been implemented 4 years since it was drafted. Among the issues that they are raising on their petition is the 4% automatic annual agreement. They also want 10% increment for lower cadres. They're also calling for harmonization of allowances across universities. The lecturers are also calling for budget allocation for car loan and mortgage, and they also want effective date for the 2021-2025 CBA. Remember that the lecturers are saying that the CBA was drafted 4 years ago, but until today the government has not said anything about the implementation of the CBA. They also want 20% employer pension component, and are also calling for budget allocation for promotions. And last but not the least is that they want immediate payment of deferred salaries of Egerton staff. Remember earlier today we saw the police trying to use tear gas canisters to disperse the crowd who started the demonstration from the University of Nairobi. But despite that, the lecturers are adamant that they are going to make sure that their voices are heard and that the government is going to hear them, because they say that despite giving the government at least 4 years to implement the 2021-2025 CBA, they say that the government has not implemented the CBA. Therefore, they're saying that they're not going to stop. And they're also saying that they were able to present or notify the police about their intention to hold demonstrations today, but they were surprised to see the police officers using tear gas canisters to disperse them. Therefore, this is a matter that we are still following it up on. Remember that section or some of the members of the union have been arrested and taken to various police stations. This is a matter that is still under development, and we will keep it following and update our viewers on our subsequent news bulletin. Back to you in studio.
Oh, thank you so much, Ben Chumba, there from Jago House, giving us an update of what has been happening as the nationwide lecturers' strike continued Monday. Well, we shall be keeping you updated in our subsequent bulletins. For now, we move on. Now, leaders in Kerio Valley, North Rift region have embarked on encouraging sports activities to unite communities and end gun violence. The leaders led a peace tournament led by Elgeyo Marakwet Governor Wesley Rotich. Over 350 teams were competing for a cash prize of 1 million shillings. Now, the event brought together teams from Elgeyo Marakwet and Kerio Valley region. Thousands of residents stand up for the tournament, cheering for their teams and singing songs of peace. Leaders who attended encouraged the people to embrace peace to promote development.
Hapa Kerio Valley, sehemu za Kerio Valley kwa muda mrefu hatujaona amani, na wale ambao pia wanazozana ama ukipata ile wizi ya mifugo, banditry, sana sana wenye kukua affected na wenye kuperpetrate wanakuanga vijana. Tunapowakutanisha pamoja kama siku ya leo, inawapatia pia time, the best way ya kuspend their time badala ya kuweka kwa ile mambo yaliyo mabaya.
Imetusaidia kuwaleta vijana pamoja, imetusaidia tuongeleshe vijana, na tumepeleka vijana zaidi ya 3,000 waende shule ile inaitwa ya ufundi ya TVET kwa sababu ya kuwaongelesha na kuwapata. Kwa hivyo pia tunataka kutumia hii kama njia ya kuleta amani. Baada ya hii tutacheza ile mpira ya Noreb kwa sababu Governor Cheboy atakuwa na mpira pia, ambayo akimaliza hiyo timu ya Baringo ya Elgeyo Marakwet ya West Pokot na Turkana watakutana wacheze pamoja, ili tuwe vijana wetu tuwalete pamoja, jamii zetu tuwalete pamoja, kwa sababu sisi watu wa North Rift tumesema wakati wetu, mimi nikiwa Governor Pandou Cheboy akiwa Governor huko Baringo, Kachapin na Lomurkai, tumesema tunataka tusimamishe vita ambayo iko kwa hii region ya Kerio Valley na hii region yetu ya North Rift, na tutaleta hiyo kwa kutumia watu kuongea, kufungua soko na kutumia mipira, vijana wetu waende shule ili tuwe na amani ya kudumu.
Residents and traders of Kangela have been cautioned against littering and irresponsible waste disposal, which is not only harmful to the environment but also poses a health risk. The warning comes amid concerns over clogged drainages leading to flooding during the rainy season. In a bid to address the problem of littering, the county has strategically placed garbage bins in the town to encourage responsible waste disposal and improve the town sanitation. The new regulations will see those found littering held accountable.
Tumepeana bins kwa kila eneo ya kuweka takataka. Tukipata ukirusha takataka pahali popote, tutachukua hatua kikamilivu.
Tunawaomba wananchi wote, ikiwemo mashule, ikiwemo mabiashara makubwa na yale madogo, tafadhali weka waste yako mahali inastahili. Kama ukisha kusanya kutoka kwako, peleka kwenye bin. Bin zinaokotwa every day from Tuesday to Saturday.
And away from matters environment, a section of legislators have urged President William Ruto and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua to urgently resolve disputes among them, saying they are raising political temperatures unnecessarily, which could be detrimental to the country's progress. Led by Super South Member of Parliament Karoli Omondi, the legislators said the political bickering currently ongoing will derail economic progress in the country. The legislators have also called for a truce between the president and the deputy president's political allies, calling for a focus on development. They spoke during an event for the SDA Church in Homa Bay County.
The presidency, where people have a joint mandate, if it is not working, then it is better that a solution be found. And it is just 2 years into this administration. We still have 3 years. If it was late in the day, one would say that we can wait for the next elections and then they can dissolve that union. But I don't think Kenya can afford a discordant presidency for the next 3 years.
The country needs to go on a development trajectory. It's only 2 years. We can't have election every year campaigning for 5 years. When will the country work? So I call upon him and his cohorts to pull back a step further to ensure that this country remains on a steadfast, remains steady in terms of stability and in terms of progressive development.
On our weekly segment dubbed My Culture, we delve into the burial traditions of the Kikuyu community, one of Kenya's largest ethnic groups. These customs passed down for generations are not only a way of paying respects to the departed, but they are also a reflection of the community's connection to land, family, and their spiritual beliefs. Let's take a look. For the Kikuyu people, burial is more than just the laying of rest of a loved one. It's an age-old ceremony steeped in spiritual and cultural significance. Traditionally, the Kikuyu believe that death is not the end but a transition into the afterlife where the departed are reunited with the ancestors. Different groups within the Kikuyu community, like the Njama age set, have developed their own burial practices. The Njama age set, a respected segment within the Kikuyu community, follows a distinct burial tradition.
Jama siyo kanisa, nimesema it's like a age group or an age set. Kuna jama ya vijana wadogo, walikai inaendaga hivyo. Hata kuna jama ya wale wazee wakongwe, kikwetu tunawaita maturaguru.
When burying one of their own, they dig a special grave with a cave-like chamber.
Kichiba shimo, kuna ile kitu unaweka hivi, hiyo inaitwa gofyo kwa Kikuyu. Na govyo maana yake ama sababu yake ni usipige ile yule amelala na mchanga, manake sio kumfukuza, unamfukuza huku.
The coffin is placed inside this chamber with specific positioning depending on the gender of the departed.
Kama ni mama anafaa kulalia hapa na angalie boma yake, kama huyu alikuwa ameangalia boma yake ili awe akichunga mpaka awe akichunga kwa gate. Kwetu kwa kikwetu gate ni dhome. Ni nani anaingia na anakuja kuleta nini huku? Ni furugu ama ni amani? Kama ni mzee inakuaga alalie mkono huyu, angalie dhome.
Unlike mainstream Kikuyu practices, where the cross may be used as a symbol at gravesites, the Njama will place a flag on the grave to honor the deceased.
Sisi tumepanda bedela na kibedela ni Kiswahili, kwetu tunaitaga kifefero. Ati ili ijulikane hapo kumelala mmoja wa mwenye mila na desturi za Wakikuyu.
After the burial, cabro blocks are placed over the grave, painted in the symbolic colors of black, green and white, each color representing different aspects of the community and heritage.
Kala ya black ndio ni kumaanisha sisi ni watu weusi, kuna kala ya green ni kumaanisha sisi, na hiyo ina represent kitu kama the land, which is also green. It signifies our land is full of grain. Na kuna white, it signifies peace.
Prayers in the Njama are directed towards Mount Kenya or Kirinyaga, a sacred symbol of their connection to God known as Ngai. They sing traditional Kikuyu songs throughout the ceremony, further anchoring their cultural identity. Burials within the Kikuyu community, whether traditional or modern, share common themes of respect, lineage and connection to the ancestors. These rites provide a sense of closure, honor the deceased, and ensure that the spirit of the departed continues to watch over the living. As customs like those of the Njama evolve, they offer a glimpse into the complex yet deeply rooted relationship between culture, faith, and community. Jackie Wambiru, My Culture. And away from that, stakeholders in the water sector have raised concerns over lack of accountability for water and sanitation programs in the country for the last 10 years of devolution. Speaking in Diani during a two-day stakeholders conference, Chief Executive Officer Kenya Water and Sanitation Civil Society Network noted there has been little to no accountability in the past 10 years in allocations given to improve water provision and infrastructure in the country, despite huge sums of money being allocated for the same. They are now calling on the national and county government to be more intentional in tracking projects and ensuring monies allocated for water projects are put to good use.
The lack of accountability in the water sector, particularly by county governments and associated partners, has been impacting water availability and access to Kenyans across the country.
The government develops a mechanism for provision of real-time water sector data that is publicly available and which can be used for timely decision-making. That the county governments fully exercise their mandate of soil and water conservation and water supply to citizens. That stakeholders involve communities from the onset of the water projects to ensure ownership and sustainability.
Well, on that note, we shall be taking our first break here on Lunchtime News. Don't go too far, we still have more news coming up.
Are you a talented artist? Or are you passionate about a topic you want to discuss? But money can be very hard to find for an upcoming artist. Don't worry, Studio Mashinani has got your back. Sign up on ajira.co.ke to book a session with our music and video producers across the country. Work on your music, jingles, spoken words, and even podcasts to realize your dream. All for free. Studio Mashinani, Radani Talent.
Technology has become a crucial part of our society. Without technological advancements, so much of our everyday lives would be drastically different. As technology develops, it strives to fulfill the changing needs of society. This means that technology exists to help us achieve the things that we wouldn't be able to achieve without it. Take on Tech looks at the advantages and downside of technological innovation in a world that is becoming increasingly dependent on new digital technologies. Every Monday at 10:30 p.m.
The young generation awakens on Y254, the leading youth TV station in Kenya. We treat you to current affairs, entrepreneurship, health, and human interest conversation.
It's art, it's culture.
Movies, gossip and trends, sports, drama.
We bring you a vibe like no other, straight to your living room.
To keep you informed, inspired, entertained, and most of all, refreshed.
We are such a vibe.
Y254. Imagine.
Welcome back. This is Lunchtime News. Abasamea elders in Khwisero have urged leaders from the area to build a cultural center to educate the youth on local traditions and practices. Elders Rasto Angatia and Kefa Alwanga faulted parents, the church and fellow elders for allegedly failing to pass on cultural traditions which they say help to shape the young generation.
Ni kikundi ambacho kimejulikana Khwisero sub-county. Na maneno mengi ambayo yanasumbua watoto ambao kama vile mnasema ni ku-advise au kuambia wazazi wao wanaweza kukaa na watoto wao wawaeleze shida ambazo ziko, waeleze
Kitambo tulikuwa na vikundi vya wazee wa mama ambao walikuwa wanafundisha watoto na wazee ambao walikuwa wanafundisha watoto vijana. Kwa hivyo kanisa likifanya majukumu yao, kwa sababu hata wazazi mtoto anaposoma wanamuogopa. Mtoto akifika university wazazi wanamuogopa ya kwamba ni mtu mkubwa, lakini wamesahau ya kwamba yafaa wamfundishe kama mtoto.
Mzee alikuwa anampa advice watoto wake jinsi wanavyoweza kuishi. Na sasa hizo vitu haviko. Wasichana walikuwa kikaenda pale panaitwa Eshivinze. Sasa ile Eshivinze walikuwa nakutana na wale akina shosho. Wanakaa na wale wasichana wanaofundisha maadili.
Now, self-help groups from each of the 40 wards in Migori County are set to benefit from an empowerment plan program that will see them benefit from a 40 million shilling set to be dispersed across the county. Speaking on the matter, Migori County Executive Committee member for Trade, Tourism and Cooperative Development, Betty Samburu, said that the county economic empowerment program will be in the form of grants. On his part, County Secretary Oscar Olima said plan will empower the local communities to ensure that they can create and generate wealth.
What we have is a committee that once the application is done, they will be able to vet and give the beneficiaries, and that sensitization was undertaken at the grassroots level.
Migori County government rolled out, or rather has in place, the Migori County Empowerment Plan. This has been executed through a bill that was passed in the Assembly to empower and give financial empowerment to various communities and various groups within the county.
Now let's talk business. There's need to embrace genetically modified organisms and reduce levies to lower the cost of animal feed that will ultimately slash the price of livestock products. The Association of Kenya Feed Manufacturers Embu Chapter CEO Paul Kamau is backing the Livestock Bill of 2024 to address most of the challenges the subsector faces, as well as propose a number of incentives to boost production.
The Livestock Bill of 2024 is expected to catalyze the commercialization of livestock farming in Kenya. The bill seeks to reform policy, regulation, training, research and disaster management, as well as offer initiative to those livestock value chain. This is expected to result in enhanced efficiency, boost production and reduce cost of production.
Involved kwa kujaribu kurobi hata serikali yetu itusaidie kuimport kufanya importation ya mahindi, especially yellow maize kutoka nchi za ng'ambo, kwa maana tuko na shida ya competition of the white maize hapa Kenya.
He says the amount challenges faced by players in the livestock value chain is a numerous levies and licensing process.
Issue access to raw material from for our feed mills, kwa kampuni zetu za kusiaga vyakula, na akifema nafikiri itaanza kuhusisha na kujihusisha na serikali kwa mpango ambao serikali imetoa kuhakikisha tunaweza kuproduce, kutoa the raw materials ambazo tunaproduce hapa, tunanunua nje kama soya, kama mahindi.
He's advocating for adaptation of technology and a new trends such as genetically modified organisms to ensure quality products are produced efficiently.
Na officials wa akisema ni kuona vile kunaweza anzishwa pilot projects in this country, vile tuseme kama area fulani kama ni pandi ya Meru kwa Mitungu, that is one ile inaweza kitu kama soga inaweza grow pandi hiyo, na vitu vingine vile wanaweza fanya research kujua nchi hii yetu, so that hata farmers waweze kupata pesa na tuweze kufanya employment ya hawa vijana wetu.
Felix Q for Lunchtime News.
Now, the national carrier, Kenya Airways, and the Kenyatta International Convention Center have partnered to enhance the marketing and promotion of Kenya as a premier global destination for meetings, incentives, conferences and exhibitions. MICE is the third largest contributor to Kenya's tourism, a subsector that the country is keen to grow.
A report by the World Travel and Tourism Council shows that the travel and tourism sector in Kenya contributed 1 trillion shillings to Kenya's economy in 2023. Business tourism and MICE accounted for 27.24% of the total tourism arrivals, ranking third after holiday and visiting families and friends. The partnership between KICC and Kenya Airways is a step towards enhancing Kenya's visibility and competitiveness as a global MICE destination.
It is a testament to the broader goal for the Ministry of Roads and Transport to modernize and revolutionize Kenya's aviation sector. By enhancing government travel efficiency, we lay the groundwork for greater international collaboration and stronger partnership that will benefit the nation as a whole.
It is a strategic move to support our market share in government and executive travel sectors. It also highlights our broader vision of transforming the travel experience of key decision makers who represent the future of Kenya's growth and development.
This continues to allow us to soar to higher.
Kenya hopes to promote its vast potential in hosting world-class business events and boost the economy by attracting more international conferences.
We are building a future where Kenya stands at the heart of Africa's transport and trade networks.
By KEQ establishing an Asante executive hub at KICC, they will be able now to net that business that is significantly brought about by meetings that KICC hosts.
Under the Memorandum of Understanding, the two entities will focus on joint efforts to source key international and regional MICE markets, bid for high-profile conferences, and implement delegate boosting strategies, including incentive travel and holiday packages. As part of the collaboration, Kenya Airways will establish a dedicated ticketing office dubbed Asante Executive Hub at KICC to provide convenient travel options for conference delegates and event organizers.
And this week on the Magical Scenes segment, we focus on skydiving. This report is brought to you by Irene Muchuma Odim. Let's have a look.
The sound of the wind rushing past, the breathtaking views of the azure ocean, and the exhilarating free-fall skydiving offers an experience to remember. With its stunning coastline, lush landscapes, and warm tropical climate, Kilifi County provides the perfect backdrop for this thrilling adventure, attracting both seasoned skydivers and first-timers eager to take the plunge.
We check you in, you do the paperwork basically, and then we go to the airport, which is inside Vipingo Ridge. Our plane is based there. Climb up to altitude to 12,000 feet, jump above the Indian Ocean. You have a free fall for about a minute, which means without the parachute being opened.
As they prepare for your jump, the anticipation builds. Participants are briefed by certified instructors who emphasize safety and technique, ensuring that even those new to skydiving feel confident and ready to embrace the adventure. Each jump begins with a scenic flight over Kilifi's breathtaking coastline, offering divers to the panoramic view of the shimmering ocean and the lush greenery. At an altitude of 10,000 feet, the moment arrives. The door of the aircraft swings open and the world below transforms into a patchwork of vibrant colors. With a deep breath, you leap, experiencing an adrenaline rush. The sensation of free fall is thrilling as you plummet towards the earth, feeling the thrill of weightlessness. A soft landing on paradise as the parachute deploys, the rush of the air subsides, and you are gently guided back to earth. The landing itself is a soft touch on the pristine shores. Where the warm sun welcomes you back to reality.
As I was coming down with my instructor, I mean, I could just see everything, and it was just beautiful. And like I was saying, my mind cleared. You know, how often we're always thinking. For those 45 seconds, my mind was clear, and it was just peaceful, beautiful. And then the canopy part, coming down slowly, and just observing the whole coast, and it's beautiful.
Kuko na emergency parachute. Hii main parachute ikikataa kufunguka, kuko na hiyo emergency.
So strap on your gear and take the leap into the beauty of Kilifi, where the sky is not the limit, but just the beginning. Nchuma Odim, Magical Sense in the county of Kilifi.
Well, thank you so much, Irene Muchuma Odim, for that report. Now, on another special segment on our Take on Tech, we shall be taking a look at the charging stations, whereby we shall be getting more informed on what happens there. Now, let's take a look.
The Internet of Things, or IoT, describes the network of physical objects that are embedded with sensors, software, and other technologies for the purpose of exchanging data with other devices over the Internet. Kenya is expected to witness significant growth in this market. According to industry projections, the country's IoT market revenue is expected to reach 87 billion shillings this year, and innovators have noticed.
Right now in Kenya, just studying, okay? Only one solution is little popular is parking. Parking is one solution for IoT, and this may be the second one.
Peter Wong, the founder of MoPower, is one of the innovators whose solution aims to revolutionize the way people recharge their phones. But how does this technology work?
When customer want to get service, so they just make a normal pay bill payment, and then our server knows, okay, customer want to operate this box, no matter this box where, okay, and we send the information to the box, okay, POP 1 to customer. So if some customer take away after 24 hours, our call center will try to call them, communicate them, try to convince them to return back.
Wong is now targeting over 10,000 IoT-powered boxes around major facilities in Nairobi, such as hospitals, schools, entertainment centers, among others. But IoT solutions still need a few more incentives.
This is only first my IoT solution. In the future, I want to introduce some others. And step by step, all customer history, the using history, I can record. If this customer, the record very good, I prefer to give this customer just take away use. We can calculate later.
Wong hopes that in Kenya very soon, IoT will increasingly enhance perceptions of the real world through portable, wearable and even implantable devices, blending digital information with physical surroundings. Alanaoko, Tech One.
And now in the sports arena, Kisumu City Stars have secured a spot in the Tujiameni Chezadimba nationwide contest after winning the Nyanza region competition. The Tujiameni initiative heads to the South Rift region, where applications are ongoing and will close at the end of the month.
Start to the competition held at the Moi Stadium in Kisumu, the Stars found their footing in the first semi-final with a 3-0 win over Sparks FC. They went ahead to emerge victorious in a closely contested final against rivals Kisumu Greenlands, who had settled for a goalless draw against Mawengo FC in the second semi-final of the day. Njera Odoyo scored the only goal for the match in the first half to bag a crucial 3 points that further stamped Kisumu City Stars authority with a 7-point lead. In addition to securing a spot in the upcoming Tujiameni Chezadimba nationwide tournament, Kisumu City Stars, that is high in a spot in the National Super League in the next 3 years, won themselves a much-needed sponsorship worth 250,000 Kenyan shillings annually for 3 years, including home and away kits.
It feels great. I feel grateful and I feel happy because winning always brings happiness to people. And I feel that this is a challenge and an opportunity because in a lifetime as a footballer, we always gauge ourselves by the trophies and the wins we get.
Mercy Kabui, who represented SportPesa at the event, highlighted the need for more participation by women clubs, noting that the exhibition matches that features 4 teams was an improvement from previous Chezadimba tournaments.
Turnout has been amazing, and for us it's more like giving back to the communities and just giving back to the grassroots levels. Our target is giving back to the grassroots levels to empower the young boys, just to encourage them to make an impact into the society.
Football Kenya Federation have unveiled a 5-member electoral board ahead of the FKF national election set to be held in December this year. The board is chaired by Hesbon Owila, and let's take a look.
The Electoral Board members were selected by the delegates during the FKF Special General Meeting held on the 24th of last month. Chairing the board will be Hesbon Owila, who promised to conduct a free and fair election.
I'm confident in the team that you have before you here, because we have sat down, we have understood the whole process, we've known each other, and we are happy that the confidence that was bestowed on us by the NEC and the National Delegates Conference is a confidence that all of us have agreed to take and to see that this process runs to its conclusion.
Other members sitting on the Electoral Board include Sports Journalists Association of Kenya President James Waindi, Alfred Nganga, Dan Mule and Marceline Sande, who will serve as the Secretary General.
So we understand that this moment means so much to the football community in Kenya, to the young kids growing up knowing that football is something that can offer a professional livelihood. We know football represents hope, renewal and the promise of a thriving economic ecosystem almost everywhere, and an opportunity for football stakeholders to run football in this country presents itself with the unveiling of this board.
Farida Lucia Juma and Robert Akumu Asembo are the standby members. The newly unveiled board will now embark on preparing and conducting the national FKF elections slated for December this year.
North Korea defeated Japan 1-0 to win the third Women's Under-20 World Cup in Colombia. Cho Il-sung was the hero as she netted a brilliant winner in the 15th minute to hand North Korea the trophy. Cho won the golden ball, while the silver ball went to Japan's Manaka Matsukubo and bronze ball to USA Ali Senno. Now, Korea shocked several big favorites on the road to glory in Bogota, including USA and Brazil. Korea now joins Germany and the USA as the only three-time champions at the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. It was Japan's third successive final in the competition, but they have now suffered defeat in the last two. Poland will host the next edition of the Under-20 Women's World Cup in August 2026.
Wilson Cho gets the better this time of Sasaki. Goes for goal and scores! And
now in other news, exhibitors at the annual Nairobi International Trade Fair, spearheaded by the Agricultural Society of Kenya, are making final touches to their stands. The show, which resumed last year after a 3-year hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic, will once again welcome members of the public to sample the latest agricultural innovations. Now we're now joined by our reporter Carol Jenga, who is at the showground for more details. Carol?
Thank you for joining us, Jackie Wambiru. As you have rightly put it, we are at Jamhuri Showground. Of course, the National International Trade Fair has it will run all the way till Friday. And there are a lot of activities ongoing right here at the Jamhuri Showground. We have many exhibitors, over 131 who have others, of course, are in full swing. They have already set up their stands, while others are, of course, in preparations towards that. It kicks off today, running all the way to Friday. The theme for this year's Nairobi ASK show, promoting climate-smart agriculture and trade initiatives for that is economic growth. That is the theme that will be riding on for this year's ASK. Remember, it happens to organize their own ASK shows. We have counties like already, of course, they have their day set to ensure that they also showcase the products that they have in their own counties. In Nairobi, we have innovators across the East African who have already set up shop here in Nairobi ASK Showground. We have exhibitors such as, of course, climate experts such as the Kenya Research and organization, that is Carol. We have many organizers. We have academic, also experts from climate from that are related to the climate smart agriculture who have set up shop here. Remember, farmers of the country are expected to come to the Nairobi Showground and, of course, interact with experts from the agriculture sector. Areas that they need help in terms of challenges when it comes to climate change challenges. We have seen as a country, we are hit by the worst drought in 40. And of course, how do farmers navigate through that? That is the theme of this year's annual show, navigating, of course, the climate change and, of course, ensuring that climate-smart agriculture is applicable to every farmer out there. Trade initiatives such as the African Trade and the Continental Free Trade Agreement, of course, is leveraged on by this farmers export our goods and there. This is of course, we'll be having across this ASK Showground. Remember, as I said, running from today till Friday. Speak to one of them who have set up shop here in Nairobi. He's all the way from, and he'll be talking to us about your expectations.
We are seeing the people products right from Ghana. Yes.
Yeah, speaking about your product, when talk about the ASK show, you've talked about your product being made from natural roots, rather.
Yes.
Explain that to us.
All right.
Well, that is our reporter Carol Jenga, who's joining us from the Jamhuri grounds. Well, we do apologize for that last bit. Well, she was giving us an update of day one of the Nairobi International Trade Fair kickoff, whereby it's spearheaded by the Agricultural Society of Kenya. Well, the trade fair will run from September 23rd to 29th. The theme this year is promoting climate-smart agriculture and trade initiatives for sustainable economic growth. Well, we shall be keeping you updated in our subsequent bulletins. Well, that brings us to the end of our bulletin this afternoon. Thank you so much for choosing KBC Channel 1. Our sign language interpreter is Anne Wangeshi. My name is Jackie Wembiru. Enjoy the rest of the day.
If you don't mind, how old is he?
How about none of your business?
How do you know about my situation? You've just described it perfectly.
What but was perfect? You having a kid or a wife?
Why are you poking your nose where it is not supposed to be poking? Let him ask for himself.
Yes, and the number you gave me goes to voicemail all the time. You know, I was thinking that maybe you called me.
Guys, you cannot leave this class. She's probably coming here.
Cecilia, get out of my way. You are wasting my time. Are you a talented artist? Or are you passionate about a topic you want to discuss? But money can be very hard